Look at this. There's a pile of sticks up there.
We can only see so far on that front. So.
Yeah.
Hi there, my name is Bryce Wagner. I work with ABC Home and Commercial Services. Here today we are out at a rodent exclusion and pest control service. The reason that we got called out here is because she was hearing noises mainly at nighttime. After a quick inspection, we found out that she's dealing with both squirrels and raccoons in her attic right now. And then on top of that, we also found rat droppings in her garage.
Just look at this. There's a pile of sticks up there.
What would be going?
And then that's what I'm saying. That's why I need to make some phone calls. And because it's right below that mushroom bank. And yeah, it's right below
that one?
Yeah, it's right below that bank. And yeah, and it's literally just a pile of sticks. And so I gotta make some phone calls and see what people think of this.
Okay. A couple roof joints on the back, AC lines. Half the breezeway's sealed, the other half's not.
Does it look okay?
It looks a little old. You may be better off just starting fresh, but... And then everything else seemed to be on the front side of the house right here.
Something to definitely consider is your own personal safety. I've been doing this for 2.5 years, and I had to crawl across the roof and climbing up and down ladders, and it's not the safest thing in the world. And unless you're doing it every single day, it's a very scary thing to do.
More than likely, we're gonna probably end up hanging a cage on that vent, but it's like right below that in the attic.
So this house is dealing with raccoons and squirrels, but we sealed her house for mice, rats, flying squirrels, possums, and anything else that could try to get in that has 4 legs.
She was saying that she was hearing most of the activity in above the master and then mainly on this side of the house.
Okay.
But like, it's just weird that I was asking her that just to see if she was, I was hoping it was below the 6. She had a cat.
Seeds are interesting.
Oh yeah, it could be like
Yeah, some sort of rat could go in this house. I think our best bet might be that vent that's over there.
On this side?
Something to consider is the knowledge and the experience. I've been doing this for a while, and I know how these jobs are supposed to go and how I expect them to go. It's a smoother process if you hire a professional opposed to doing it yourself, because you may miss a few spots or multiple spots that may drag out the noises that are up in your attic.
I'm attaching the mesh onto the cage, these zip ties. I'm only going to put mesh on the right side and the top side of it because I have the roof and then the side of the house to kind of pin the cage in. And so I'm wrapping this cage that way when he tries to leave the house, like I said, if he's in there, then he's going to run right into the cage. Well, sometimes they stop and think about it, and so the closer I can get this door to the entry point, it's better, because then they have less time to think about it. I've seen like almost funnels for raccoons, and they work, but it just kind of leaves the door open for the raccoon to rip through the mesh before he makes it to the cage. And so I'm gonna attach this, like I said, just on 2 sides, and then attach it to the house from that point, and I'm gonna be all ready to catch a raccoon. I've always been blue collar, and it just kind of, a lot of the construction knowledge goes hand in hand with fixing up someone's house. It's really helpful. It's then to be able to know what's going on in someone's house without even going inside the house. Training's fun, the training's hard. You don't actually get a full grasp as to what's going on and like how to handle every situation until about about like 6 months to a year into the job, and then at that point you've probably seen enough and done enough to handle situations like this where a raccoon just decides to go through someone's soffit. And yeah, and in instances like this, it's, I mean, no roof joint is the same, no cage hang is the same. Got my cage hung, everything's rigged up and secured with zip ties onto the cage, and really you don't know how it's going to fit until you put the cage into the area. And then but once the cage is up in this roof joint, then the benefit of using this mesh is you can morph and move this mesh whatever way you need and able to be successful.
So out of this rodent exclusion, we sealed up her house. There was a total, there were roof joints that needed to be done, roof vents, weep holes. We ended up hanging a cage for the raccoon that was getting inside her attic, as well as setting snap traps up in the attic. Another thing to consider would be the materials, and as well as the knowledge, because unless you know what you're looking for, then you may not know what to seal and how to seal it. For example, on her house, we knew we were dealing with raccoons, and so a lot of the roof joints that we sealed up, they have the double layer of mesh on them. They're screwed into the soffit, and the weep holes, those are doubled up just in case anything comes by, and in case rats try to fit through, because her weep holes were pretty big. And it's just something to consider is the knowledge and the experience. It's I've been doing this for a while, and I know how these jobs are supposed to go and how I expect them to go, and so it's a smoother process if you hire a professional opposed to doing it yourself, because you may miss a few spots or multiple spots that may drag out the noises that are up in your attic. It took myself and another technician combined about 3.5 to 4 hours to seal up this house. Yeah, it's a lot of time. Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Next steps of this job are going to be, we told them, because we have a cage hanging on the outside, we told them that if to check it in the morning, check it at night, because if there's an animal caught in there, then we have to get out here and remove that animal and hang a new cage. But if that doesn't happen, then they're going to have a trap check within the next 3 to 4 days. Come back out here, look at the snap traps we put up in the attic, as well as check the cage on the outside, and then also talk to the customer, see if they're still hearing noises. Sometimes the noises just completely disappear, which is always ideal in my mind, because then you're never dealing with another animal inside your attic. Once again, my name is Bryce Wagner, and thank you for trusting ABC Home and Commercial Services with your rodent exclusion and pest control.